Right now, President Trump is in Malaysia for the first part of a week-long high-stakes visit to Asia, ending in South Korea with the main event meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping as Trump aims to close major deals on trade, Taiwan, and rare minerals. GOP Congressman Byron Donalds joins us now. Great to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us. So, Congressman, one of the things I really loved was Trump took a wire brush to the United Nations as he goes in and tries to rack up even more significant deals around the world. He really has done a good job of pointing out how irrelevant the United Nations is these days.
Quintessential President Trump. Everybody knows that the UN really hasn't been able to accomplish much except for arguing for despotic interests on American soil, which I think there's a lot of Americans who have real issues. But take a step back and look at what President Trump has been able to accomplish. Peace deal after peace deal around the globe. Obviously, this is not just a focus of his, but he has a team around him, obviously Marco Rubio, the special envoys that do operate around the globe, where they're committed to using economics to bring about peace. And this is an economic deal, obviously, with interest for the United States, rare earth minerals, which are critical for our future economic stability, but also making sure that there are peace accords that can stand the test of time and not some of the previous ones that were negotiated in the past, which were based on pretty flimsy agreements that just could not hold up. This is something where, once again, Donald Trump has proven that he is the president of peace.
Yeah, and it turns out that an America First agenda actually not only helps the United States of America, but it's a pretty powerful stance for foreign countries. At least they can understand what it is, where it is we're coming from.
Well, that's absolutely right. You have a situation where they know if Donald Trump is coming in, yes, he wants peace, but he also wants to make sure there are just key economic interests that can be tied where it makes sense for the United States and for American companies, the American people, as well as the people in these different countries. Obviously, part of this was trade talks around tariff policy and other trade reforms with Malaysia was something that had to be finished. With Thailand as well, with Cambodia, these are things that had to be finished. And the president understood the conflicts around that border, which had not been going anywhere for quite some time, but getting the economic interests to align with the diplomatic ones. Listen, it was said in a famous show, The Game of Thrones, you don't make peace with your friends, you make peace with your enemies. And in order to do that, there has to be somebody at the table who brings strength to help to make those deals land.
All right. Real quickly, we only have about 30 seconds left. I want to ask you about this illegal alien truck driver in your home state who killed 3 people a couple of months ago. We're now learning that he failed his CDL test 10 times in 2 months. What can Congress do to prevent this from happening to more people?
Well, the first thing Congress can do is they can pass my bill, the WAY Act. What the WAY Act would do is it would empower the Department of Transportation to do CDL checks at every way station in the country. Number 2, it would check English proficiency, if these drivers actually can read our signs and can understand English, because that's critical for highway safety. Number 3, it would give the Department of Transportation the ability to find these companies who are hiring these truckers who obviously cannot speak our language. That's something major that Washington can do. Highway safety is critical. We have to make sure that the people who are driving these 80,000-pound rigs can speak our language and understand our language when they're dealing with first responders. That is going to be critical for highway safety. And it's not just this crash in Florida. This has happened multiple times around the country. It's something that has to stop, and we can do it.
Well, and we hope that you will come back and keep us posted on your progress on that legislation, because I can't think of anything more important. Byron Donalds, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.